welcome back. Here is Ali Talabi, and this is module 19. In this module, we're going to talk about bond prices and yields. And some of the topics we are going to cover, we already mentioned in module 6 when we talk about bonds and bond valuation. But here we are going to talk about bonds in more details. So let's start our module. So in module 6, bonds, we learned about the bonds and bond valuation, and we talk about the coupon rate, face value, yields to maturity, and also we learn how to find the current price of bonds. And also we talk about the relationship between the interest rates and the bond prices. In this module, as I mentioned, we'll talk more about the bonds. We'll talk about the bond pricing using financial calculator, and I will also show you in more details the relationship between the YTM and the bond prices. In the first lesson, also I will talk about the accrued interest, the clean price, the dirty price. In the following lesson, I will talk about the reinvestment risk, price risk, interest rate risk, and in the final lesson, I will cover one of the most important topics in the world of bonds, which is called duration. So I will show you a step by step how to calculate the duration, and I will use an Excel file, an example to explain the concept of duration. So make sure that you follow us and you learn all the topics related to the bonds. So let's start our first lesson. So we learned that actually one of the major factors which determine the bond price is the YTM. And we learned the YTM, or the yield to maturity, is the discount rate that equates the today's bonds price with the present value of the future cash flows of the bond. And when I'm talking about the cash flows of the bond, there are two major sources of the cash flow: the coupon payment, which you receive on regular basis, usually every 6 months, and the face value, which you will receive at expiry or maturity date, which might be $1,000 or any other number. We learned that we can find the bond price using the formula. So here is the formula when the payments are on an annual basis. The formula on the top is showing the annual payment, annual coupon payment, and the formula on the bottom, it's showing for the bonds which are paying semi-annual coupon payments, which means there are two payments in a year. So we are making a small adjustment for the increased number of payments and the reduction in the coupon payment, as you see here. So again, for further information, I encourage you to go back to module 6 to understand the bond pricing approach. Here I'm going to show you an example how you can use your calculator to find the bond price. So for this example, I'm going to use the BA2 Plus TI, which is one of the most common financial calculators in the market. And this is also the CFA approved. So if you are aiming to write the CFA exam, you can use this calculator. And also there is a pro version of this calculator, which you can use that as well. There are more functions for that calculator. So let me show you, use an example, how you can find the YTM or bond price using this calculator. Now, let's look at this example. So we're talking about the 5-year semi-annual bond, which has the coupon rate of 10%. Remember, the coupon rates are expressed on annual basis. So when it's saying 10%, this is for the full year. So when you are going to calculate your coupon payment for 6 months, you have to use half of this number, which is 5% of the face value. And the face value is $1,000. So let me write down the information we have. So you will receive $1,000 at expiry or maturity date. So when you look at the third line of your calculator, we're talking about the present value, future value, and the payment. So you can use actually these functions here. So the face value is $1,000. You have to be careful because the calculator is saying FV. FV doesn't stand up for the face value here. It's a future value. But accidentally, the face value here is same as the future value. So you will receive $1,000 5 years from now. So here is the argument. So if you are here and you are 5 years from now, and you know there will be 10 equal payments. So I'm just going with the year. So that is year 5. In year 5, you will receive $1,000. So In terms of the year, so it's happening 5 years from now, the face value becomes $1,000. What about the number of payments? Again, this is the semi-annual bond, which means you will receive the payment every 6 months. So 10% times $1,000, this gives you, yes, you're right, $100. So every year is $100, but this is the semi-annual, so you have to divide it by 2. So you will have $50 for the payments. What about the number of payments? Since there are 2 payments per year, and this is the 5-year bond, so you will have 10 equal payments. So here your goal is to find the interest rate or the YTM. And you know the current price is $800, and you have to be careful because you are paying for this. So when you enter this number in your calculator, make sure that you enter the cash outflow, which is negative $800. So I'm going just to use my calculator. Again, for further information, go back to module 6, how to use your calculator. Just let me enter the numbers here. So 10, so enter 10 and then N, hit in N. I skip I, I'm looking for that. The present value is $800 negative. So there is a, you see, there is a plus minus sign here. If you hit that, it changed your number to the negative number. And then you hit PV, $50 PMT, and 1000 FV. And the last step, I need to compute the I. So I hit the CPT on the first line. You see there is a CPT. I compute what? I compute I. So then I hit I here, as you see. And this gives me 7.97%. So my rate or discount rate for half of a year, be careful, for 6 months, this is 7.98 almost. So my discount rate is 7.98% for half of a year. So if you're looking for the full year and the YTM is expressed on annual basis, you have to multiply this by 2, which gives you 15.96% almost. So this is your YTM. Your yield to maturity is 15.96%. So on annual basis, you expect to receive 15.96% out of this bond. And as you see, this is greater than the coupon rate 10%. And that is why this specific bond is sold at a discount. What is the discount? It means the price is less than $1,000. Again, if you want just to get more information about the premium discount bond when it's sold greater than the coupon, less than coupon. So we talk about this back in module 6. I encourage you to review that module. Now, the last topic I'm going to cover in this lesson is regarding the accrued interest and the notion of coupon payment when actually you are not buying right at the beginning of the year or beginning of the period. It's very common that you might end up buying the bonds somewhere after issuance of the bond. For example, let's assume we're talking about the 2-year bond. Just make it simple. So this is the 2-year bond. And this is the coupon rate, let's say, is 10%. So you expect to receive $100 at the end of year 1, $100 at the end of year 2, plus the face value, which is $1,000 at the end of year 2. Now, if you buy the bond here at the beginning of year, it's clear. You will receive $100 1 year from now. What if you purchase the bond here or here? In other words, somewhere in between the 2 coupon payments. In this case, you should pay more than the bond price, more than the present value of all future cash flows. Why? Because you will receive the first payment sooner than 1 year. So here is the argument. So if you buy a bond between the coupon dates, you will receive the next coupon payment earlier, which means that you must compensate the seller for any accrued interest. So for example, if you buy the bond here, so you have to pay for the period which you didn't own the bond. So we call the interest for this period accrued interest. So let me provide you further information. So when we talk about the bond pricing, we talk about the present value of future cash flows. Now, the formula we use is usually gives you the clean price. what is the clean price? The clean price is the quoted price excluding the accrued interest. Excluding the accrued interest. However, and also this is sometimes the clean price is also called the flat price. But also you have to learn that you have to pay for the accrued interest. So accrued interest plus that clean price which we learn, this gives you the dirty price. So dirty price, that's the clean price plus the amount you are paying for the accrued interest. And the price that the buyer is actually paying, this is the full price or the invoice price, which is based on the dirty price. So you should pay more than the clean price because you have to pay for the accrued interest. So I'm going to show you an example to see how actually it works. So look at this example. Let's assume that you are buying a 10-year bond with a 12% annual coupon, payable semi-annually. So every 6 months, how much you are going to receive? That's the 12% of $1,000. That's $120 for the full year. This is semi-annual, so you will receive divided by 2, so you will receive $60 every 6 months. So in terms of the present value, we can find the present value of all future cash flows, which we call that clean price. So what's your clean price? So let's use our calculator. What is your N? So there are 10 annual, 10 year, so that's a 10 times 2, that's a 20 periods. What's your I? It's already given 11%. You have to be careful. This is on annual basis. So if you divide this by 2, you get 5.5% your semi-annual discount or interest rate. What is your present value? That's the one number we're looking for. What else we have? The payment, we already mentioned, that's a $60, and you will receive $1,000 at maturity. So let me use my calculator to find it. 20N, 5.5I, payment is 60, so 60 payment, 1,000 FV. So you compute the present value, and this gives you almost the number. Just I'm going to round it up. So the present value should be 1,059.8 almost. So just let's make it simple. It gives you almost $1,060. So the present value or the current price of this is almost $1,060. You have to pay premium on this because, you know, it is sold at the premium, so you will pay more than the face value. Anyway, this is called clean price. But since you are buying 4 months to the next payment, it means you have to pay for those 2 months accrued interest. So for 2 months, the interest is accumulated, so you have to pay for the accrued interest of 2 months. And the 2 months is 2/3 of the full period. Every 6 months, so here's the case. Every 6 months, so let's go with the months basis. So let's assume this is months 6. So you are here, months 2. So you already passed 2 months. You have 4 more months to go. So you have to pay for these 2 months. You have to pay for the accrued interest of these 2 months. So you have to pay for the 2/6 of the interest which you will receive 4 months from now. So you will receive $60 every 6 months. So you have to pay for the 2/6 or 1/3 of the $60, which is $20. So that's the $20 you have to pay on the top of that 1060, which is the clean price. So your dirty price in this case will be 1080. So you will pay $1,080, which is $20 more than the clean price because of the accrued interest. So that's how we calculate the accrued interest. Well, that's it for today. Thank you very much. We'll talk more about bonds, and we'll talk about duration in the following sessions. Talk to you soon. Have a wonderful day. Take care. Here is Ali Talabi.